A question that I sometimes receive is, as a defense attorney, how can you defend people that you know are guilty? When I began my career, I thought I was going to be a career prosecutor. I truly enjoyed the work. I thought prosecutors uniquely had the opportunity to change lives, that you could prosecute people who are committing crimes, affect communities for the better, and I thought I'd always be wearing the white hat. What I learned over the course of my years as a prosecutor is that it takes good people on both sides. And oftentimes it's not just the prosecutor who's wearing the white hat. Defense attorneys have essentially two distinct jobs when it comes to representing people accused of crimes. First, you have a category of individuals who you're arguing about whether or not the state can prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's the group of people that most people are thinking about when they ask this question. In their mind, there are people who are factually and absolutely guilty, and there are people who are not guilty. The reality is, in every single criminal case, the question is whether or not the state can prove its burden beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's in our Constitution, that's the foundation of our justice system. Can the state prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt depends on the work that the state did, the investigation that they did. It requires the police and other state actors to do things the right way. Because if they're not doing things the right way, then the evidence or claimed evidence that they want to bring in shouldn't and won't legally come in. So it requires the state to do the right things in order for them to prove their case. And we don't reward bad behavior. We don't incentivize bad behavior on the part of state actors. The second part of that is you have individuals who are factually innocent. And so you absolutely want to fight for them. And you have people who may be factually guilty, but the state hasn't done everything right. And so you're holding the state to its burden to keep out illegally obtained evidence. You have another category of people. And these are people who come to you and say, look, I'm guilty, but I don't agree with where this case is headed in terms of punishment or sentencing. And that's a majority of what defense attorneys do. So you have a person who's come to you. They've committed the offense of driving while intoxicated, or they've committed the offense of murder. Whether the state is looking for 60 days in jail on a DWI or the rest of a person's life on murder, there are absolutely discussions that are to be had about what the right outcome is. The most appropriate outcome on a DWI may not be jail time. It might be rehabilitation. It might be sending a person to complete courses that make them a better citizen. The appropriate outcome on a murder case may not be life in prison. We have a punishment range that begins at probation for even murder or 5 years in prison all the way up to life. And within that huge spectrum of possible outcomes, there are cases that fall on the high end of the spectrum and cases that fall on the low end of the spectrum. Only through discussions with the prosecution and through the mitigation work that the defense attorney is doing can you come to the right outcome. So really, the justice system requires good people on both sides in order to really see that justice happens in each and every case. This video was made in response to questions that we've received on this channel in the past. If you have a criminal question that you'd like for us to answer, just drop a comment below and we'll be happy to answer that in a future video.